I dump your ass.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
Which one? I'm pressing the button, okay?
Press open door.
I'm pressing open door.
What?
Mom, get off the phone!
How many children are you friends with?
Welcome everybody back to Spinner Rack. Today we're discussing Stranger Things, that hit Netflix show. Is it worth continuing watching? Did you like this season? Hey, we're here to go through all these questions. And once again, I'm here with my panel of Petey and Cal. So, gentlemen, what do you think of this season 3? You know, were you guys expecting? Was there a lot of expectations? You know, we waited almost a year and a half for it to come back up. What are your thoughts? Initial thoughts. Petey, start it off.
Okay, even though you weren't looking at me, I guess I'm starting it off. This one has the horror that every kid goes through. The thing that we fear the most. Elle becomes a regular girl. She meets up with Mad Max and she teaches her all of the stuff we don't need her to know. It's the hardest point in life when they become a real girl and they start getting quiet, and it's all right. It's very much a fun series, and I like how they mixed up the characters, and they're sort of grown but not so grown. So they have some kid moments, they have some moving on moments, and it's a exciting series and a little more with the monster in the town and stuff that we're dealing with now, where the small towns are gone and the malls are set up. But this possibly is one of the greatest mall stories next to Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which did one of the best mall stories, whereas Mallrats didn't do it. Quentin Tarantino's mall scenes were not good. Now we finally got some solid mall scenes. If you ever had to work in a mall and you've been there and you struggle with it, hey, they've got this here. But then they even have the Russians in there. There's a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of plots. A little too with Winona Ryder's character and the cop. The Hop is kind of they get a little too jokey, and Winona looks a little too silly in some of the outfits she's in, but it's still solid and still a lot of fun. And they also poke fun at some of our favorite movies. So it's a tribute to the 80s, you know.
Cal, what's your take on this? Is he totally out of his rocker or what?
I thought he could have went further with the whole Elle becoming a girl. You know, that was...
Oh, you can.
Okay, I was watching this, I was like, yeah, wow, yeah, this is exactly what it is. You got Lucas coming over, he's like, she broke up with me 5 times. I was like, only 5?
Yeah.
Only 5? It's like, this
Yes.
is, this is great. And he's saying all the stuff that you have to learn as a grown man. He's like, no, I
Yes,
come
yeah,
over here,
yeah.
I find this stuff to make her happy, I do this, I'm back in. It's all good. I was like, man, this kid is better at his age than I was as a grown man. But in terms, story-wise, I have to admit, I thought they were going to run out of steam. Because a lot of times, especially when these guys hit that first season, what they usually do back there is there's usually the writers like, okay, how can we top this? And there's usually somebody, what are you talking about top this? This worked. We're going to do this every season,
Yes,
okay, until people get sick of it.
Yes, yeah.
Look at The Flash. The Flash was like season 1. That was really like their season 5 at the end of the day. We're like, okay, everything clicked. And they were like, they've just been, okay, we're just going to just keep doing this. So I thought, okay, 3rd season, what can they actually do? But I think they benefited from a young cast that's growing up. So it's kind of cool to hear, nobody has squeaky voices. The boys don't have squeaky voices anymore, okay? Everybody's getting a girlfriend, that
Yes,
sort of
yeah.
stuff. And there's little bits that you can actually look to. We also see, I can also see the characters that are dead weight at this portion, but they're just there.
Who would you say is dead weight?
Winona Ryder?
Well, I have to admit, because the first couple of seasons, I understood she was the mom and she wanted to be around with the kids. But this one, it was kind of like he was telling her, look, you really don't need to be. And she's like, no, I'm going. I'm like, but you don't really serve any purpose and you're not helping. So you're pretty much just going to get in the way. And you did. So, with her at one end. And what's the name of the other one? The one who was Steve's girlfriend, but
Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy. I was like, yeah, just a horrible girlfriend at the end of the day. Horrible girlfriend. You know,
Those characters. Okay, yeah.
she's just a horrible girlfriend.
And the older brother.
No,
yes.
by the second season, she was on to the next dude. The other dude didn't even know. I was just like, when did he ever find out? I was like, you're terrible. Then she gets the job, and this was I thought very important because as much as I like the aspect with Elle, you know, doing girl stuff, and what I thought, you know, Max said was right. He's like, there's other stuff we can do. We don't have to be all, you know, wound up into them, and just seeing like a normal conversion, if you will, from okay. You know, I'm pretty much just hanging out to, oh, wait a minute, there's this whole world of stuff that I actually have some interest in, and it doesn't necessarily have to all be about this. The same thing with the guys, too, where they're like, oh, yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, wait a second, there's some girls over here? You know, I can actually get a little lip action? I don't think I'm rolling dice for a while, you know, but, you know, don't throw them away, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm sorry to just jump in. That's the harder part of being a kid, because I think when we were growing up, there's a lot of things of wanting to become an adult, but then sort of sneaking and playing tag, but not saying, hey guys, let's play tag. Just let it happen rather than say it, because it gets kind of like, oh no, I'm too old for that. The next thing you know, like, oh, you chasing, you're like, they played tag in Kings Plaza? Oh man, it's like, that's like 18.
Yeah.
I don't recall that, but hey.
It wasn't, no, I'm saying the fact that, Raymond Williamson, Dinker, him and some of the people that I had in class were playing tag, and I wasn't even in Brooklyn, and I'm like, oh my God, they got away with playing tag. That was the last bit. We couldn't play kick the can, none of that stuff, but they're still playing tag.
Well, they had that whole movie based on that where these guys were.
Yes, yeah, you can continue playing tag. Yeah.
So you know, I'm going through it, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty solid. The contributions that are made, I think the contributions that are made by everybody who's I think pivotal to the story, because you have like the immediate party, and it expanded, but I like the fact it didn't expand too much. It doesn't feel like, okay, everybody, you know, somehow gets into this, you know. So you have the party that's actually, you know, contributed towards it. You know, I wondered what they were going to do with Steve's character.
Yeah.
Because Steve's character pretty much, you know, I like what they did with him in the first season, where he comes across like he's a stereotypical jock. You know, he's going to come over here but this guy actually has like a good, you know, heart, good sense of character, you know, and I thought, okay, fine, he's probably going to end up dead. And then no, second season, and that continues. And even in the third season, I mean, I thought they did go the route with him being a little bit more of a, like an airhead more than when he started. But still, it's still just a genuine person. Then you got Nancy over here, and that was the only thing I had a criticism with, because where you have Elle embracing more of her femininity, if you will. You have Nancy going there, and she's working, and you know they're giving her a hard time. And I thought that would have been a perfect thing for these guys to understand, because for her, it's they're giving me a hard time because I'm a woman. And I remember going to these jobs, and you would have these guys, older guys, and these guys would give me all this, you know, they would give me all this malarkey, like, hey, you're the guy over here, you got to go get the stuff. These guys would come up with these orders, you know, these micromanaged orders. Yeah, give me a turkey sandwich. I only want mustard on one piece of the turkey.
It's across the board. It is.
It's still going on.
You know, you would do this type of stuff. But these guys were like, no, you just came in here. I had to go through all this stuff to get up here. You're going to go through all of this stuff too. And I don't want to hear any of your ideas or any of that other type of stuff. It has nothing to do with that. And I thought they could have really worked that in. Because other than that, and the other thing, because they could have worked that part in and say, no, this is dues paying. Male or female, this is dues paying. And then, because they made the guys who were there on the board, they never showed them doing anything skillful or them having a nose for journalism. So then they just look like jerks. But if you have these guys coming over here, look, did you check your sources? Did you do this? Did you do that? Then it looks like, no, I worked hard to get here. And you're not going to just come in here because you have a hot idea. You have to work your way in just as well. Oh, but you're nice to him. He's a photographer and takes good pictures.
Yes. Well,
okay, that's a part I thought could have been better developed. But aside of that, just very enjoyable. I'm looking forward. I really want to see what they're going to do with season 4, and I think it's very good proof that you can still, because basically it's the same formula from the first season. But they did throw enough changes in. They did throw enough changes in there. I thought the whole her losing, you know, or whether does she have her powers or not, that trophy, you know, I thought that was a bit hackneyed. And they did that because they wanted to show, look, it's not just about her at the end of the day, that, as a party, they can actually budge together. But they could have done that in the previous season. But unfortunately, these guys, whatever weapons they were using, they seemed to be immune to everything except, psionically having been their bodies ripped apart. So there was nothing else anybody else could do, with the exception of Steve, who had the magic bat. For whatever reason, his bat was more effective than any of the other guns or stuff that they were using.
So I was
going to say Hop. There was some online controversy regarding his character. I don't know if you got a chance. I forget, some actress came on and said that he has like anger management issues and that he's very violent. You should never be in a relationship with him. One, it's fiction. Two, you can go to hell. Everything that this guy does is he's using all of that rage. It's not like he's just coming over here and busting down the door and then we see him spazzed out drunk in the morning and such. Everything he has done in terms of channeling that rage has been to do what? To protect the children.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
to save people. Okay. It's all channeled towards that at the end of the day. This guy is like, yeah, you can say he's caveman, at the end of the day, but that's what they were going for with the character. And he's doing what? He's doing like basic primal instinct. I'm going to protect all of these people the way that I couldn't protect my daughter.
Well, sorry.
You want me to chime in, or you got to say something?
No, I wanted to say something to that point.
Piggyback on the point.
I'm piggybacking on that point only to say that the second season, the scenes between Hop and Elle were very powerful, especially Elle's acting ability, like the way that having a child and basically someone who has no parent now have to deal when they really. It felt like family, even though they weren't blood. And then this one, him having to deal with a suitor, a boyfriend in the house, and basically saying, they're going to run out of things to do in between kissing, and I have to deal with this, and this scares the hell out of me. And that's a real parent moment, a parental moment. That was powerful. Him being tough on Mike, that is powerful. Deciding, I'm not going to talk, I'm going to scare him. And then the part of him being a real, I think it was I'm going to incite a comic reference of Jack Kirby talking about Orion. Somebody that does the dirty work, that makes the hard decisions and deals with good or bad. That Mike knows, at the end, Elle knows that, Hop was tough to Mike, but that's what he had to do as a parent. And that's what, basically also to use another reference, who was it? Al Bundy, dealing with it. Like basically, it's a funny bit, but he's got guys coming over to see Kelly Bundy, and he just smashes their head into the wall and kicks them out. And that's his father. That's what you do. You can't say, all right, this is a boyfriend. I gotta be nice to this guy.
I'm not supposed to be nice to you.
While they're in my house, I have to stop anything and everything. And that was
it's like you got the knock on the door, like, hey, you're here to see who?
And,
it's like, no, you can't have sex with my daughter. I didn't come here to have sex with you. Oh, then what are you here for? Get out of here.
That and the best bit of the kissing, and then when he comes to the door, they adjust. And even the girls did it. The girls are laughing and joking when Hop comes in. They adjusted. So it's so much. That was very real to me. So sorry.
I mean, I thought this season was pretty good. I thought the emphasis, I'm not a big horror type of guy, but I thought it definitely worked. I didn't understand the video you're getting, how they're going to explain, what's the Mind Flayer versus the Demigorgon from season 1, what the difference were. But we do see an evolution here. One of my problems here with the whole season, though, was the cast just exploded. I mean, it just seems like we have a very large cast. And it's hard
But it's like a town.
Yeah, but it's like the whole town now. It's like at one point it was we're just talking about the boys now, right? Now we've gone, then it went to season 2 was Hopper and Winona Ryder. And then now, and Nancy and
well, most of those people were there for, most of those characters were there first season.
It just feels to me it's just really expanded. Don't get me wrong. I thought that the way they handle it.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it is large. I think they're handled like you were about to say. They're handling it well. They handle it well, but it's just hard for me to just now really focus on one character. Like one character that I ended up liking a lot was Steve. I was like, wow. Like you're right. His evolution from being the king of the prom, the guy all the girls like, but then. They made him the doofus at the very end, and I'm like, but yet
he's was the doofus in this. You mean in the first season?
No, the last season. And I'm saying it's like, but yet he has the heart of gold, like you said.
Well, and I hope in the next season they get away from a little bit of that because it seems that it seems like him. and I think it's pretty telling what they do because he genuinely falls in love with Nancy.
Yes.
Right.
And Nancy is like, no, I'm just not there with you. And it's almost like because he was willing to fall in love, it's like, okay, your status is down a bit of a peg. Or, because I'm really trying to put my finger on it because it was a shift. It was a shift in it. But his first season, what he displayed was that, no, he genuinely liked her.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then even to the point where he was like, look, you know what? I was angry about this stuff, but I can still do the right thing. I don't have to
Yes.
come over here and delve into the whole thing. Then, he can't, but then by the third season, he's like, oh, you finally want to fight. I was like, okay, but it didn't have to be a big deal about him dropping a fight in the first place.
Yeah.
He was fighting against guys in both situations. One situation, he was winning the fight. The guy cracked the pot over his head. So,
But getting back to him, I think the whole thing.
I would just add with Steve. I'm sorry.
You've been cutting me up all day today. You know.
Don't worry, it's
I'm
not
trying
gonna
to give
stop.
it- I'm
Don't
trying-
worry.
I'm trying to give
sorry.
space.
Apologize.
You know,
I apologize.
trying to give space. What were you gonna say?
No,
I lost my thought.
I
I lost my thought. What were you gonna say?
apologize. I ruined it.
No, go. What were you gonna say?
I would say Steve is someone who's off his square, right? So ultimately, some people like that don't make their move, they don't become something big or go to college, they don't usually lose their swag, right? They still get the same amount of girls they had before. And he's someone who's, I guess, trying to find his heart. He's like he's the hero, but he's kind of lost his way, and they have him in the sailor suit. So it's kind of funny. But those scenes, like especially in the movie, and we got to get to Erica. But those scenes were in the movie where they sit them down and then they go to Erica, and the next thing you know, they're gone, and you're like, where did they go? Where could they have gone?
Yeah, classic. I think that he hit the characters, all the characters around him really worked well. You know, that's why in this story, I'm sorry to say, my focus moved a bit from the kids, in 11 to Steve and his crew and Erica and the new girl, forgot her name, in the Star Court. I thought they did an excellent job. I really thought they clicked. I thought they really moved it forward. My other issue with the story is that 11 is the save all and be all.
she's Superman.
She was.
Without her-
And it's cool. I really do like it.
I like, but you know what I'm saying? At this point in the game, you figure someone else will be stepping up. Steve has been stepping up. We give Steve that. But and Hopper, I think Hopper did an excellent job being his paranoid self, kicking the mayor's ass, going to get the.
He took down the Terminator, man. He took
Yeah.
down
But
the
it- but
Terminator.
it
I
took
love
him-
that.
It took him a while.
No,
That guy was tough.
It felt real though.
Yeah,
It
that
felt-
guy was
every time
tough.
he
I
played, it
agree.
felt
I
real.
agree. But and what happened to
remember
Hopper
the scene?
sucks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You remember the scene where he shot him and
Yeah.
then the guy back up? I was like, oh my God, it really is the Terminator.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go to the. Sorry, you go. I'm sorry. I don't know. I was just chiming in. Sorry.
You know what? I don't know what to say today. Today has just been one day. Petey has been cutting me off
I
left and right,
apologize.
and I know why it is, people, because I've done it to him several times, and so payback is a bitch, and I apologize for that.
No, it's the emotion that we both have for this story. But I would say, of course, they gave us stock Russian villains, and they also gave us Alexei. And Alexei was part serious, part
what they,
humor.
and what
but
they did to
then when we get
Alexei sucks.
No, that was a powerful scene.
You think
because
so?
We believed in him when he escapes.
I didn't think
when
it was
he's
gonna
about
happen to
escape,
Alexei.
We think Hopper is totally wrong, and then Hopper's totally. It made sense.
Yeah.
But then we didn't know what Alexei's going to do because we're not in his mind. Now we're starting to see where in the part about the Hop and the Winona Ryder didn't have sex, and he laughed like them two they didn't. Like, and then when he's in the amusement park.
Yeah.
And we're totally not expecting that they get us, and they totally it's an emotional moment.
But you see, that's odd because when I
That
saw that
was
happening,
great.
I thought something was going to happen that was going to prevent it, and I was like, it didn't stop. Nothing prevented it.
Yes.
It just went straight through. So
He's a Terminator.
So it's a subversion of your ideas of what you expect to happen. And so you're right. Elle is the super, I don't know what to call her, superwoman, superman of this whole series.
Okay.
I mean, but the thing
you want
is,
to help you out? She's the archetypical hero.
right.
Okay?
But she shows up at the
That's
thing-
what the archetypical hero
know,
does. They
but-
always show up at the end when all else seems lost, and they save the day. That's what they do.
But she got hurt sometimes. They showed us
she keeps,
some weaknesses.
and I agree with that. But I'm just saying that it's so fragile. It's just her. That's what I keep saying. They're winning by the skin of their teeth.
And
This
we
is what
love
they're
it.
supposed to. That's fun.
but
Well,
she has to-
it's either that or we're going to go the other route, and then other people are going to start developing powers, and then it
the
becomes,
team. We're used
why
to
do
the
you
team.
have?
We're used to the team. We're
They
used
help
to.
with the fireworks.
Yes, they did. They did.
And that
And
was
I
good
think I said that
all.
earlier. Like they showed that no, the party can, these guys can actually, they're getting better at this to the point. No, you can be supportive. That's your big gun, okay? That's your big gun at the end of the day. But the other problem is like even when they've had weapons, these guys have had like some serious AK, 47 shooting type stuff, and the bullets either they're horrible shots or the bullets just don't have any effect.
But here, I get that. But we saw season 2. I thought season 2 opened us into a window of there are other people who have powers.
Who?
And,
But you
Remember
complained
when
about
Al-
the too many characters, though.
no, but
Oh,
I'm
you
just
mean
saying-
Kali?
Yeah, when she went off in season 2 and she came back, I
Yes.
thought that this would be an opportunity to bring
You want
her
the
back.
X-Men to come.
I'm
The
just saying,
Stranger
I
X-Men.
thought that was what's going to be moving forward. But now we see at the very end of the story.
See, your dislike of Superman, okay, is not allowing you to enjoy this character right here.
Oh my God!
Not everybody can be an anti-hero, okay? Heroes save the day.
Oh, I think
That's
that
what they
was
do.
That was a jab right there.
That was a
Heroes
low
save the
blow.
day. That's what
That
they
was a
do.
low blow.
And he said, man.
And here's the thing. See, I would agree with you, but they do it well. They really
No.
have you in that moment to the point like, man, what the hell are they going to do? And then you forget all about Elle because you haven't seen her.
Yeah.
Or you think she's on the other side of town. Okay.
And
Or
she
the last
pops-
time you saw her, she was with Kali. And then next thing you're like, these guys are all huddled together like, man, this is it. We're going to buy it. I don't think Hop can punch our way out of this one. And then she comes and kills everything. You're like, oh, yeah. It's to the point you remember, yeah, she's here. So they do a good job. They do a good job of it.
Okay, we had to talk about
Better than Captain Marvel.
We have to talk about it because
His sister.
Well, since he mentioned Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel tried to introduce song into the big fight scenes. We have a delay of game in Stranger Things. What do you think about
The never-ending
the
story.
story?
I don't know what to think about that.
I think they said that they're still kids,
Yes.
and we had this moment where they're still. She's like, and she's a girl, and we got a real girl saying, no, none of this stuff is important. And the thing we were saying, she's not real. She's like, I'm
I'm
more
real,
important than
and the only thing
anything.
that's important is me.
Yes.
And this is what I want. And what have we learned as grown men? You got to give them what they want. If not, the world is going to end. And in this case,
Yes.
literally, the world is going to end.
Oh my gosh!
I love them when they were
didn't even
hamming
get
them up at the
that.
end. They were like, hey, you going to
Yes.
sing the song? Look around. It's everything you see. That was hilarious.
What do you think about the music in the show? I thought there should have been more 80s music.
No,
No.
no.
I thought it wasn't enough.
Well,
I
no,
thought we were going to
having-
get
But you-
anything.
They're
Having
set.
the
They're
Back
set
to the
in the
Future is good
80s.
enough.
They're set in the 80s. So that and the thing is, other thing I think a lot of people understand. It's money. You got to pay people for these tunes. And the more popular the tune, the more money you're paying.
This is Netflix signature series throughout. Okay, so they're throwing money at this. They're throwing money into
Guardians
this.
of the
No,
Galaxy.
Okay.
That's exactly what I thought we were going to get more.
No,
when they said
give
they were
me,
gonna
give, me,
I
give, me,
thought-
give me an 80s song that you think would have fit well in season 3.
Gonna hurt.
No, I don't know.
It's gonna hurt.
Well, you don't even know them while you're bringing it up.
I'm just saying. I just expected more.
Because I know the songs that people would resonate with are the songs that these guys are like, well, you can throw
We
in
Are
some.
the Tiger. You
you
Pet
could-
Shop Boys.
Oh, good grief! Like people would have like, oh, why don't you throw in some Queen in there? One of these type of, some. Well, that maybe that
That
would
would
be
have been
more
the
70s.
70s. That would have been the 70s.
You're thinking like what, like a Madonna tune or something of that
I
nature?
thought there would have been more or something.
No.
You
You don't
didn't
need
hear
to do
any
that.
music on the theater radio. You
What do
didn't
we
hear.
need to
I just
hear
thought that
music on the radio? They're running around.
Look, you got the mall, okay? You got the Back to
Yeah.
the Future movie theater. You have the
Yeah.
fashion.
the Back to the Theater was a thing. That was cool.
you had you had them singing the never-ending
Yes.
story.
the fashion.
A
scene
movie
is
I
important,
detested
too.
thoroughly.
I didn't want to say that. It wasn't a movie that I was really into. But yes.
But I'm saying for their age.
Yeah,
range,
that was
that's
perfect.
for them.
That was perfect. All the other kids I knew who were the right age, they loved the never-ending story. And me, I hated it because he was riding. I was like, is that a dog or a dragon? I was like, the
well,
confusion for
I
that
don't
just
know.
really made me dislike it.
We also have to accept that at the stage we were, if that was we were like 14, we were very much art snobs at that period. We were very critical. It was a shame, and it's like
We
going to
were, we
movies.
were.
And I tried to watch that movie.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
really did. I tried and I just kept kept zoning out.
It's unwatchable.
always knew
It
it
still
though.
is.
No, the Never-Ending Story 2 is unwatchable. Never-Ending Story.
How did they ever do two? I always wondered about that.
No, that's
That's
a
cool. What came out to watch it?
No, that's like right up there with, what was it, No Retreat, No Surrender, and somebody says, hey, did you see No Retreat, No Surrender 4? There was a 2? That's right up there. What's the other one? Never Back Down? There's Never Back Down 6. See, like, there was a second one?
So what do you think about the sister? what's his name's sister. She and Steve and and Dustin. Is it Dustin?
I think so, yeah.
You know,
You mean
Who's
Erica?
sister?
Erica.
Yeah, Erica was fun.
Yeah,
And Erica, since early on, she was saying they would, but then she really sold me on her when she's like, "You can't spell America
without Erica. I was like, oh.
So, and the fact
Oh,
that,
Lucas's sister. Lucas's
Yes,
sister.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'm thinking Dustin.
Yeah, that threw me off too. But she,
No, not Dustin. I said she was with Dustin.
She was very good. She's quite the actress. Okay,
Yeah.
she's quite the actress. She was very good. I love the fact that she's cutthroat, but still a kid. Where she's like, hey, she's not even asking for money. She's like, no, I want free ice cream
forever.
You know, forever at the end of the day.
yeah. And that's
And then she's like, "Where are they when they went?" You know, she was chaperoning the older kids. You know.
no, one of the best scenes is when Steve has to relieve himself, and keeping in mind they're in a small area. So he, as a guy, just says, "I'm doing it right now," and then the girl can see it, and it's like makes you believe they're stuck in this place. And not many times when there's people stuck in an elevator get to that small bit of saying, at some point you've gone through this, you need to go to the restroom, and it didn't get that way. The girls you're with are gonna be upset. So there's a lot of real moments in the fun and the Carrie Elways, like.
And another thing, yeah, one of the reasons I think you probably liked or got more into Steve and such is because, well, one, I think their storyline was more engaging. I mean, because Steve, I mean, what? They literally worked him over. I mean, they beat the smack out of him.
Twice.
Okay, they beat the smack out of him, torturing him, jacked him up and everything of that nature. And again, it's one of the reasons I would, but his character, in addition to some of the others, is one of the things that have attracted me to the story and kept me in there. Because you find that, okay, there's some more use, and you find, okay, this guy is, for all the other stuff, he has a lot of positive qualities. Then you look at somebody like Dustin for the same thing, and, the same thing, positive qualities galore with all of them. So it's just a really good,
I think
they have a great cast of actors.
and they're bringing in more female characters. I mean, they practically increased them every single season. And
Why do
now-
you have to care about they bring it?
No, but I'm just saying-
No, don't
no,
do
no,
this
no,
white
no,
knight
no.
stuff, man.
And I'm saying,
don't do it.
I'm saying-
Don't do it.
But it helps.
They can-
It helps the dynamic. It helps the dynamic and the tension. And I think that was a pretty good thing. It doesn't. When it was all guys.
They're bringing
just-
in girlfriends, man. That's what they're bringing in. More female characters. They're like,
Erica's
no.
too young to be anybody's girlfriend. Okay. And
You
it's
didn't
just,
say
it's just.
that.
And then-
Erica was there already from season 1.
We know that. And then the new girl, what's her name? The one in the sailor outfit. She likes girls. She basically said.
She was a potential girlfriend until things went awry.
Yes, that was potentially going for a little while.
Well, there's a twist. They're throwing it, who knows if that was.
I thought that was a
nailed
box they
in.
felt they needed to check, and they checked that box. But they did. I thought they did it in a very good way at the end of the day.
Billy, what did you think about that? I thought that was crazy.
I thought that was fine, okay, because that's where the cast would have
The
gotten too
man
big for
whore
me.
himself got. I
What?
don't want to say, because I don't want no spoilers. What happened to
What
him.
you talking?
What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. You're talking at the end.
Yeah, at the
You're
end.
not talking about the beginning with the thing of this being real and having some real, not real, but realism, and playing it off of having his appeal to everyone at the pool, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good stuff that's in there. There's so
Yeah.
much good stuff, and it's a tough. Having
but
the
he-
villain that you care about.
I like what they did with him because at the end of the day, I thought his character was look. Mostly somebody's gonna die. Okay, I would have rather have seen Alexei live than Billy, to be quite honest, because I found his character a bit more engaging. But again, his character's finite. Why? Because he's Russian. He doesn't speak any English. What can we expect from this guy? Unless he's going to become that bit character. He's going to become, that bit character like the other guy. Well, okay, we don't know what we need to do. Let's go find him. Knock on his door. Look into the camera. You can only use that guy so many times.
Well, wasn't
Same
it funny
thing
when
with
he
him.
found out he spoke Russian? That was crazy.
I could see him. That was good. He's paranoid enough for it. But then he almost becomes like the Dr. Ruth for these guys. Well, anybody who visits, as you're a couple and you visit him, he's like the sex therapist. Go sleep over here.
Well, that's a dude who's never getting anything. So that's what it is,
Take care of that. And so with Billy, it was the same thing. I think, to be honest, making him at least the avatar of the big bad, for this season gave him something to do. Aside of that, what more we really going to see from him?
But another thing I liked is that they didn't just make it just they had the comic book Russian Soviets. I don't call them Russians, they're Soviets because that was a Soviet period. But then you have the Alexei, then you have
The Terminator.
the Terminator. Well, let's get down to it. Were the guy who was trying to open up the Russian colonel or general, the guy who was trying to open up the portal, was he possessed? Why was he doing it? You know, I still don't
Who cares? He's trying to open the portal just like we were trying. The Americans were.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was it. Just simply just a
Yeah,
bad
all it
guy
was was
just
these guys were on one side trying to do it, and they said, no, we can't. No, we got to go to the other side and do it, and that was it. I was more look that part over there is.
I thought he was taking over or something like, and that's why he was trying
no
to
the
get.
Terminator, man. That's what that's where your focus needs to be. Okay, when that scene right over there, and Hop comes over, and this guy literally comes over here and blindsides him, beats him. You're like, okay, and they did that to show this guy is tough, because Hop is tough.
Yes.
Okay, so he takes him out, and then Hop never steps back from this whole thing. Like, okay, guy may be tougher than me. Have the second time they come over there, Hop is like, bam, go, not playing around with you. Okay, guy pumps up. Suit and vest, he's got on the bulletproof vest. Like, oh man, you know what that means? They're gonna have to have one final showdown. This is like a freaking Rambo movie or something. Like, okay, USA versus the Soviet Union. Who's going to win? Ivan Drago, you're going down, Terminator. Hop was like, bam. And the thing is, this guy looked like, I mean, he was tough. Okay, and he had Hop at the disadvantage because Hop was not at, not at 100%. And Hop was like, nope. Everybody's counting on me, not letting the kids down. I'll see you in hell. Bam. I was like, yeah, Hop. And then I realized, wait a minute, you killed Hop. You killed Hop.
It's like, damn.
Whoa.
I didn't want to say. But if we're going to talk about Hop dying, then let's rock. Let's
We
right in.
don't know yet.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know if
We
he's
saw
really
other
dead.
people, melted. We didn't
Yes.
necessarily see Hop melt.
Yes. That's right. And at the end, they put a human and he got killed by that
There's
Demogorgon.
another side. There's other worlds. Who knows what happened?
As of right now, the only one member of the party that you could really get rid of and you'd be okay is Will. Will's like Will was like, he was a recurring character in the first season. I'm not saying that get rid of him, okay?
And he has so much.
Nancy's
But
boyfriend
he's the most
growth-
undeveloped of the
Right.
party.
His
I think.
growth has
Well,
been stunted. He's been sort of going in reverse, and they had that where he's struggling with that, and he still has a connection to all these forces. Where Elle is moving forward, you have the switch of she's growing up. He's not moving because he's still sort of stuck, and they haven't. And there's no thought of saying, let's get this kid to therapy. They're just like, hey, he's.
Well, they tried therapy.
They did try
They
therapy in
did
the second
try therapy
season,
in the
yeah.
second season. The only thing is that the therapists are the same guys who are like, trying to open
That's
portals.
right.
But
But it's so overall
having that split with having these different sort of personality. I think that works. Having Will sort of being pulled back. Okay.
So overall, who was your favorite character in the show other than 11?
Now we gotta pick.
Pick
favorite
somebody.
character.
As you
tough.
know, Steve is mine. I think Steve did an excellent job. Erica was funny
You
as
would
hell.
pick Steve.
Yeah. Cal.
I'll go with Hop.
Hop was good. He put it up.
This is tough. There's a
Well,
lot
he's
of
probably- he was
characters.
probably-
There's a lot of
Yeah,
characters
yeah,
to
yeah.
choose
Well,
from.
11 wins straight hands down because she's the
Eleven's always
Batman
gonna
character
be
there.
No, but also,
You know what I'm trying to say?
I'm sorry, the what character?
The hero of the show.
Yeah, okay.
But she also her performance in these things is like, it's a child actress, but she's such a strong actress. The facial expressions, everything that she's given you in these moments is almost just right, and it's like almost to say that she's acting, not to say it's that close to realism. But then
Finally, after years, the name Bobby Brown is actually going to be looked upon, with some actual regard.
Her name is Bobby
But
Brown?
I will
Millie
give
Bobby
it-
Brown.
Millie
Millie
Bobby
Millie
Brown.
Brown, yes.
But I'll give it to Mad Max. I like that they somehow didn't say that
She?
I'll say that's what I'm gonna pick my favorite outside of Elle. I'm gonna
Right,
pick
she's
her.
Max. She's Max. She's not Mad Max.
She started and they called her
Mad Max. That was her name on the video game.
Right. The Mad Max video game. Right.
Oh my God, trying to correct. We gotta debate
my
that,
bad,
right?
My bad.
So keeping sort of the thread that was from the first thing of having Mike and her fight early on, and him have issues with having the new girl in there. Now they have it where she's like, Elle is my possession. And she's like, no, I got to break that. Like any girl is like, all right, no, you're like, like in Fufu in Eddie Murphy.
You can take half his money.
That was funny.
And the thing of, the point of saying love in front of her friends and Elle having it in the back of her head, that's powerful. So I'm going with Max. Let's go.
All right, well, okay.
Check it out.
Check it out. There's some creepy stuff in there.
There's no creepy stuff
Make sure
about
you
the
leave the light on
monsters.
before you
Okay,
watch the
yeah.
show and stuff
You're
like
right,
that.
sorry.
The worst part of it is that you're going to have to wait for season 4. You're going to get through this and you're going to say, okay, when's the next season coming out? And they'll all probably have white beards by the time they...
Well,
Netflix is
no.
going to run this series to the ground. Watch.
The feed, we gotta go. The description. This is the best thing, and this is what a show. What was it? Designing Women used to do. Describe a character, and then present the character later as Dustin's girlfriend, where she's prettier than Phoebe Cates, right?
Right.
And we in our mind already have a vision of what this girl's gonna be, and then they give us a picture of her, and we get the difference. So it sort of goes against it. And Designing Women used to always do that. And I love when you say, all right, we're going to put the character there, but we're not giving you a young Phoebe Cates. We're going to give you the girl we picked, but she has dark hair. And this
Yeah, he looks like Phoebe Cates to Dustin, which is what really happens at that age. That's what happens, you know.
Yes, we are. I like that bit.
Spinner Rack out.